Hello and welcome to this, our fourth session on the rapid value cycle. My name is Matt Kineen and I'm the practice manager at Ignition. I'm joined today by Jan Kutzi, the Chief Technology Officer for Nexus Data and one of the co-authors of the Drive Rapid Results from Data, the book that we are dissecting today. Now today we're going to discuss the key to embedding insights into the organisation to deliver value. So the plan is to help you as a data leader understand what embedded analytics is and insights and what it entails, and how a data value architect can help you achieve this. Now, I'd like to point out, hopefully, that there's a little QR code that's about to appear in the corner of the screen here. There it is. So what it does, if you click on that QR code, it'll take you to a page for a rapid value cycle assessment. And welcoming Jean. G'day, mate. Good to see you again. I hope you're well. Yeah, very well, very well. Looking forward to this today again. But this QR code, just give the viewers a little understanding of what they get when they click on that QR code.
Sure, thanks, Matt. So that it's going to be a quick assessment. It's not too many questions, but the whole idea around the QR code is there's a few questions that's going to ask you about your current organization, your current circumstances, and it does a quick validation and a check of where your maturity is, or let's call it readiness. We don't really like the word maturity that much. Your readiness around investment and maximizing investment from data analytics. So once you've completed it, you'll get a quick report back that talks about the different domains or the quadrants within the rapid value cycle, and then just gives you a score according to sort of the inputs that you've given it. So something that's quite nice, very lightweight, that can help guide you. I think it's also a nice, let's call it asset to have if you get to reading the book, or if you have read the book, to read it alongside that, because it will explain certain concepts a bit better. Cool. Thanks, Matt.
Perfect. That sounds great. So certainly encourage you to do that and check that out. Also, I encourage you to ask us any questions you've got as we go through the session today. There's a chat available there. So we will keep an eye on that chat and see if we can answer your questions in live as they come up. We might be able to, if we might have to get to the end. We've left aside some time for a Q&A session at the end, but we'll try and do them if they're relevant to the content that we're talking to at the time. So please feel free, post a comment, and we'll try and get to it when we can.
Cool. Thanks, Matt. So let's jump right into it. To setting the scene for today's conversation, when we say embedded insights drive value, what does that mean in practical terms, and why is embedding insights still the biggest missing link in most organizations?
Yeah, Jean, in practical terms, embedding insights to drive value is about not just having the analytics sitting separately over there in a nice dashboard where people have to go to gain the insights and make a decision. It's actually embedding those insights into the business process to drive that real value. So an example might be adding an alert or a flag into an existing workflow process when a certain threshold is met within the data. Bring analytics to the people and the places, the systems and the processes where they were actually working. So they see insights in context at the time they need to take action. I mean, I remember we took an iframe that was available in an ERP system, and we were able to show KPIs that were relevant to the work that was in the rest of the ERP at that time. And that really made a difference to the people, because it was in context and it was where they were. Look, it might be a Teams message, it might be a text message if the worker's a field worker. All of those are great examples of embedding the analytics in the process. And as you say, for most organisations, this is the missing link. So they need to embed the analytics to what I say is close the loop and therefore drive value. So, John, mate, you've often said that analytics on its own, I know this is one of your favourites, delivers zero value until it's embedded in the process, like we just spoke about. Why do you think organisations still treat insights as outputs rather than operational inputs?
Yeah, it's interesting we're talking about. I remember early on in my career we spoke about closed loop analytics quite a lot, but it seemed to have gone by the wayside over the years. I think it's a bit of a systemic issue where a lot of people are focusing on actionable insight. It's sort of been a theme for the last couple of years is buy this application, implement this platform, implement this methodology. It's going to help you drive actionable insight. And as you said, my favorite quote is analytics doesn't deliver any value on its own. And that's exactly it, right? If your end point is delivering actionable insight, you won't see the value because this decision still needs to be made. Like you said, the alert still needs to happen. I think the main reason why people still treat it as such is, let's call it a bit systemic. A lot of people still talking about the actionable insight, but secondly is we operate things in silos rather than focusing on the value chain itself, where things to come in together in order to create value, and it needs to be orchestrated quite well into a great extent. So I mean, if you have a data function that's driving insights, analytics, building dashboards, but they're not joined at the hip to your IT teams and to the business teams that's leveraging that insights to do something within the business or to drive revenue uplift or alternative products to retain customers, to manage churn a bit better, then you don't actually deliver any value back to the organization. You just have fancy dashboards and fancy models and fancy outputs. So I think it's really about the words that we use, and we sort of get used to those things and we think that's done, but it's halfway through the journey. If we look at the rapid value cycle, delivering insights or delivering actionable insights is only the second step. There's a few things that needs to follow, and the big one that we're talking about today is embedding that insights. And I think this is where a lot of things sort of fall by the wayside. So Matt, with that in mind, where are organizations going wrong when it comes to embedding insights into their business processes, IT platforms, and workflows, in your opinion?
Yeah, for me, the main challenge is that the organisation needs to understand that embedding insights into their business processes or platforms or workflows is going to require changes that the business needs to accept and that IT need to deliver. So the business and IT, here again, they've got to work together to achieve it and be committed to the process. Otherwise, when we get to this point and they're not all committed, IT will look at the situation and go, yeah, I've got a lack of control over the value chain or the value cycle, just exactly as you described there, Joe. And so they stick with what they can control, and that's to produce models, reports, and dashboards, right? Because that's well within their sphere. They don't have to go outside of that. So it's that age-old problem of the business and IT not being on the same page when you're looking to manage change. The business will start to put up some barriers. They'll question the value. Why are we doing this? What value does this bring to me? How long is the change going to take? And for me, all of these questions are early indicators that data is being treated as a bit of a side activity and not as something that's embedded as a part of the business to enable positive impact and change. So, when you work with executives across industries, we talk about embedding analytics. What does good embedded analytics look like? And give us an example where some embedded insights directly changed an operational or revenue outcome.
Yeah, I mean, we have a company in South Africa that they used to be medical insurance, medical aid,